State Airport, Aurora, Oregon. Automated weather observation. 1729er Zulu. Wind 160 at 08. Visibility 10.
For more than 100 years, men and women have been using airplanes to travel, to explore, to participate in the thin layer of atmosphere that surrounds our planet. A good airplane is a wonderful thing. It extends our senses and our abilities. It gives us a freedom, the ability to move in 3 dimensions that no other human invention can provide. No airplanes have provided more pleasure than those from Vans Aircraft Incorporated, the RV series of kit-built airplanes. Built and flown by people from every imaginable background, well over 6,600 examples are flying in more than 30 countries around the world, and more fly every day. They give their pilots efficient transportation and short-field capability and all the other qualities RVs are famous for. But more than anything, they offer the joy of effortless flight. Beginning in 1972, Vans has offered the best in kit-built aircraft, and over the years has developed a complete product line. Every day, kits for the RV-7, RV-8, RV-9, RV-10, and RV-12 roll out the factory doors in Aurora, Oregon, destined for shops and garages on every populated continent on Earth. Today, Vans Aircraft is a multi-million-dollar business with 60 employees, but it is built on the values and the vision of one man. Vans founder is Dick Van Grunsven, better known simply as Van. He grew up on a small farm near Cornelius, Oregon, and during his high school years, with encouragement from his parents, he and his brother bought an old J3 Cub and later a Taylorcraft, and kept them on a 670-foot strip they'd leveled on the family farm. Van received a degree in mechanical engineering and then served in the Air Force, although a color vision problem kept him out of the fighter cockpit. Since the Air Force wouldn't give him an airplane, he purchased a single-seat, 65-horsepower Stitz Playboy. The performance was not exciting. So, Van made a number of progressive changes. The biggest change came when he designed and built an all-new cantilever aluminum wing. The Playboy literally flew like a new airplane, so Van renamed it the RV-1. His work on the RV-1 showed him that something even better was within reach, so he designed an all-new airplane based on a concept he called total performance. The result was a remarkable airplane, the RV-3. It was fast, achieving 195 miles an hour on just 125 horsepower. Stall speed was 51 miles an hour, giving an exceptional speed ratio of 4:1. It was an excellent sport aerobatic airplane, and with a takeoff distance of 350 feet, it operated easily out of short grass strips. Van let a few trusted friends fly his airplane, and the response was immediate and universal. How do I get one of these? Naturally, many RV-3 builders wanted to fly this wonderful airplane with a friend, so they began asking for a 2-seat RV-3. Van obliged them with a new design. The 2-seat tandem RV-4 flew in 1979. It bore a strong family resemblance to the RV-3, and to Van's satisfaction, had the same delightful handling qualities. Vans Aircraft really hit its stride in the mid-1980s with the RV-6 and its tricycle gear sibling, the RV-6A. With side-by-side seating, 3 mile a minute cruise speeds, and handling very much like the RV-3 and 4, the 6 became the most successful kit airplane in history. Eventually, more than 6,000 would be sold. Knowing that the tandem configuration had solid support in the marketplace, MAN revisited the concept and came up with the RV-8. First flown in 1995, the RV-8 looks very similar to the RV-4, but inside there's a lot more room for both occupants. Pilots up to 6 foot 8 inches and passengers well over 6 feet find the cockpit comfortable. 2 baggage compartments, one forward of the pilot and the other aft of the passenger, hold up to 125 pounds without exceeding CG limits. Electric flaps and precise vernier elevator trim are standard. Engine options include Lycoming 4-cylinder models from 150 to 200 horsepower. The wing tanks hold 42 gallons. A large sliding canopy gives superb visibility. And even better, there's the tricycle gear version, the RV-8A. In the air, the RV-8 retains the slow stall speed RVs are famous for, but with 200 horsepower under the cowl, top speed now exceeds 220 miles an hour. Flown at economy cruise power settings, it will still achieve 180 miles an hour and cover over 900 miles. But better than all the numbers is the way it flies. Instantly responsive without being twitchy, able to fly comfortably slow or fast, and capable of effortless sport aerobatics, the RV-8 carries on the best traditions of the RV line. These advantages pushed the RV-8 to the fore, and it rapidly became the most popular tandem kit plane on the market, a position it has held ever since. Years of discussing the side-by-side RV-6 with customers showed Van that many of them were more interested in the airplane's traveling capabilities than its aerobatic strengths. In response, he developed the RV-9A, an airplane with a slightly larger cabin and higher useful load than the RV-6. The big difference was a completely new wing. The RV-9 wing has a longer span, higher aspect ratio, and slotted flaps. These allow it to fly slower and climb better on low power than any previous RV. In traveling mode, it demonstrates a surprising turn of speed. On a 118 horsepower engine like that in a Cessna 152, the RV-9A tops out at 170 miles per hour and cruises easily in the 160s. With 160 horsepower, it can achieve 195 miles per hour and cruise at 185. The world was ready for a non-aerobatic airplane with precise but docile handling, good speed, and the ability to take off and land almost anywhere. So the RV-9A, and later a tailwheel version called the RV-9, were put into production. So now there's an RV-6, an RV-8, and an RV-9. What happened to the RV-7? MAN had set aside the number for the eventual replacement of the RV-6, and in 2001 the time was right. Using everything learned from the RV-6, RV-8, and RV-9, the RV-7 emerged as the direct replacement for the RV-6. It adopted the wing and larger fuel tanks from the RV-8 and combined them with the fuselage of the RV-9. The result is an airplane that offers 150 pounds more useful load and a longer range than the RV-6 and uses the same engine options as the RV-8. The cabin provides room for a pair of 6-foot-plus occupants. The performance and handling is very similar to the RV-8, and with the extra power available, even better than the RV-6. The feel of the controls and the aerobatic capability is identical to the RV-8. The only difference is the view. The RV-7 and Tri-Gear RV-7A immediately stepped into the role of bestseller and have remained there ever since. In 2003, the company took a deep breath and stepped into the four-place airplane world. The RV-10 was designed as a four-person traveling airplane. The first step was to make sure it would carry 4 people, not just 4 seats. A large gull-wing door on either side opens into a truly large cabin, big enough to hold 4 6-foot 3-inch people and provide them all with plenty of head and legroom. Chosen for safety and all-day comfort, fully adjustable Oregon Aero front seats are standard. Quickly removable rear seats extend the baggage compartment, which is accessible through a large baggage door. 60-gallon fuel tanks and 200-mile-an-hour speeds mean a family can cover large distances quickly and in comfort. The efficient wing and flap system, combined with sufficient power, allow the RV-10 to operate out of short grass strips and climb quickly into the cool comfort of higher altitudes. Performance and handling is all RV. The RV-10 provides as much or more range, speed, and comfort as certified designs using far more horsepower and costing 3 or 4 times as much. When you consider the flying qualities, agility, and performance of the RV-10, there's not another four-place airplane that can compare. In 2004, the Federal Aviation Administration approved a new category of airplane, the light sport aircraft. Along with it came the new light sport pilot's license, allowing less expensive flight training and eliminating the medical exam. The parameters of the new category dovetailed neatly with ideas that Van had been considering for some time, and the result was a totally new RV, the RV-12. The RV-12 features cab-forward seating, which combined with a large canopy and the short cowling covering the 100-horsepower Rotax 912 engine makes for exceptional visibility. The cabin has room for real-world, full-size adult humans. Full-span flaperons provide an RV-like roll rate, and the tricycle landing gear is suitable for any prepared strip. The RV-12 sports quickly removable wings. 2 people can take the wings off in less than 5 minutes, using a system that's been proven in gliders for many years. With the wings alongside, the entire airplane can be stored in a trailer or under the wing of another airplane, significantly reducing hangar expenses. When it's time to fly, the spars slide in easily on rollers installed in the fuselage. There are no control, electrical, or plumbing hookups necessary. Everything is automatic. Install the wings, insert 2 massive pins, pop the handles into the safety tabs, and it's ready to fly. And fly well! The RV-12 continues and even extends the total performance concept. It takes off and lands in very short distances. It climbs 900 feet per minute at gross weight, a weight that allows 2 200-pound people, full fuel, and considerable baggage. The Rotax burns auto fuel at a miserly 5.5 gallons an hour. The RV-12 cruises at 130 miles an hour and is happy at altitudes where the air is cool and the mountains small. In the air, the RV-12 is just what you'd expect. Quick, light, precise, and fun. Kit airplanes are a mixed bag. Depending on your perspective, you either get to build it or you've got to build it. The methods used to build RVs were designed to allow people with no prior experience to be successful. But that doesn't mean it's easy. It isn't easy. It takes time, dedication, and perseverance. Thousands of RVs have been built by people of every possible background. All the skills a builder needs can be learned along the way. How is an RV built? All RVs are built with the most common and widely used aircraft material in the world, sheet aluminum, the same material used in light trainers and large airliners. Almost all metal RV parts are made at Vans. Very few processes are farmed out, and nothing is made overseas. Traditionally, parts were produced without fastener holes. Assemblies were aligned, checked, clamped into position, and then drilled for all the rivets and bolts that held them together. The time-consuming, tedious work of determining the position of every fastener was up to the kit builder. It was a method that worked. The RV3, RV4, and RV6 were designed to use these methods, and current RV3 and RV4 kits still use them. But with the advent of extremely accurate computer-controlled tools that small businesses could afford, a new method emerged. Van's matched hole parts are probably the biggest advance in metal airplane kits ever. Used in all RV designs since the RV6, the concept is well worth a closer look. The process begins in the designer's computer, where the airplane is modeled using sophisticated software and years of engineering experience. The shapes of all parts are determined, complete with precise locations for every rivet and bolt. The computer records the shape as a digital file, which is fed to another computer controlling massive punch presses, which cut out parts quickly and very accurately. The blue surface is a temporary vinyl coating applied in Van's shop to protect the shiny alclad aluminum from scratches and scrapes. The punch press produces a flat blank, complete with fastener holes, notches, and wiring runs. A skilled shop staff makes the necessary bends and flanges, and finally, the original computer model is reproduced in three-dimensional metal. The result is parts that are so accurate that no jigs are required. Building a straight airplane is simply a matter of aligning holes that are already there. In the builder's shop, construction starts by aligning the pre-punched holes and holding the assembly together with temporary fasteners called clecos. The parts are permanently joined by rivets. New builders worry about riveting more than anything else, but soon they find it is the easiest part of the entire building process. There are two broad categories of rivets: solid AN rivets or blind pop rivets. RVs use both. A solid rivet is inserted into a hole drilled into the metal, and a bucking bar, simply a steel bar with a polished face, is placed against the tail of the rivet. The rivet gun strikes the head of the rivet, the bucking bar reshapes the shank into a permanent tail, squeezing and holding the parts together forever. In the blind rivet, the head is formed by pressure from a shaft in the center core of the rivet. When the shaft is pulled by a special tool, it squeezes the rivet to form the tail and breaks off automatically. The RV-12 uses mostly blind rivets, while the other RVs are built with the traditional flush head AN rivet. The rest of the kit is similarly complete. All steel components, like the engine mounts, are welded and powder-coated at the factory. Every nut, bolt, screw, and rivet required for the basic airframe is supplied. A pre-molded canopy is provided. Every component of the landing gear except the brake fluid is in the crate. Brand new wheels, brakes and tires, tubes, hoses, and fittings. The fiberglass engine cowl, prop spinner, and wheel fairings are made with high-strength epoxy resins and are included in the kit. The builder provides the engine, propeller, radios and instruments, paint, and upholstery, choosing according to his or her tastes and budget. The exception is the light sport RV-12. In the RV-12, the engine, prop, instruments, and virtually everything except the paint is included in the kit. All kits include full controls for the pilot. The stick is included for the second seat, and rudder pedals for both seats are standard on the RV-7, RV-9, RV-10, and RV-12. Dual brake kits for the RV-9 and RV-7 are available. Backseat rudder pedals and engine controls can be installed in the RV-8. RV-7 and RV-9 builders have a choice between the tip-up canopy and a sliding version with a fixed windshield. Visibility and access behind the panel is better with the tip-up, but the slider provides superior taxi ventilation and sex appeal. Almost all the items needed to complete an airplane are available through Van's accessories catalog, which includes exceptional pricing on Lycoming engines, avionics, Hartzell, MT, and Sensenich propellers. One very popular option is the Firewall Forward Kit. This includes everything it takes to install any of the engines Van sells and make it run. Hoses, cables, brackets, a beautiful stainless steel exhaust system, an oil cooler, and much more. The complete instructions included take all the mystery out of the engine installation. Between the kit options and Van's extensive accessories catalog, a builder can build an airplane that precisely fits their needs. Although it's impossible to say how long any individual might take to build an RV, we can make some very broad estimates. The two-seat RV7, RV8, and RV9 will take 1,500 to 1,600 hours, and the larger RV10 about 2,000. The blind-riveted RV12 only takes about 800. There are several ways to make the construction process quicker and easier, but absolutely nothing will get you further for the money than the Quick Build Kit. Available for all models except the RV4 and RV12, the Quick Build option cuts building time by 35 to 45%. Despite the fact that it looks more like a finished airplane than a kit, the Quick Build Kit meets all the FAA standards and complies with the 51% rule. The wings arrive almost complete. The builder must install one skin, hang the completely assembled ailerons and flaps, and rivet on the wingtip. Except for paint, the wing can be finished to flying status in about a week. When the fuselage comes out of the crate, you can toss in a couple cushions off the couch, jump in, and start making airplane noises. It's an essential part of airplane building. Many Quick Build kits have been finished and flown in less than a year. In fact, the biggest construction problem for some Quick Builders has been listening to the envious mutterings from those who built RVs before the Quick Build was available. Once the merits of the different airplanes have been carefully considered, there is an easy three-step order process. Decide which airplane suits you best, fill in the order form completely, write the check. Each airplane is divided into subkits, so there is no need to buy everything at once. Most builders start with the empennage of their chosen airplane and order subsequent subkits as building progress and budget dictate. Orders are swiftly handled by the office staff. Parts are carefully packed in a sturdy wooden crate, loaded by a conscientious and careful crew, and shipped to your door, wherever you may be. Of course, building an RV is more than just riveting metal or installing wires and hoses. But there is plenty of help available. The plans and instruction manuals are complete. The technical assistance staff, all experienced RV builders themselves, is available by phone or email 5 days a week. A company newsletter is published 6 times a year. vansairforce.net, a website started and run by RV builder Doug Reeves, has become the meeting point for RV builders around the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They trade building tips, opinions, and flying stories, some of which might be true. Getting started classes are offered several times a year in locations around the country. Several RV building assistance centers have been established by skilled professionals and well-equipped shops. These programs are very flexible. Builders can work just long enough to develop the skills and confidence and then finish the airplane on their own, or they can take full advantage of the knowledgeable help and complete the entire airplane at the assistance center. So many RVs are under construction that there's a very good chance someone nearby is already building one. Builder-to-builder help has become a tradition in the RV world. When the airplane is almost done, many pilots take advantage of a factory-endorsed flight training program to transition into their new RV safely. We have found that even low-time pilots can handle the RV competently with just a few hours of instruction. Flying an RV is different than flying anything else. It's better. If you're used to the average general aviation airplane, the RV will be a revelation. RVs are designed to fly. Experienced test pilots rave about the control harmony, roll rate, and climb ability, and delight when the airplane responds quickly, precisely, and effortlessly, an extension of both body and mind. Aerobatics in an RV are smooth and graceful and fun. Pilots who prefer less athletic flying find that the RV-9, RV-10, and RV-12 share the same flying qualities and feel, even though they are not intended for aerobatics. An RV is not limited to large paved airports. An early home movie shows Van departing the 670-foot grass strip in his childhood home. The 150 horsepower RV-4 is airborne at about 400 feet and passes the camera plane like it was standing still. A later version with 160 horsepower and a constant speed prop can do even better. The white markers on the runway are measured at 100-foot intervals. 100, 200, and airborne before the 300-foot marker. Excellent short field takeoff and landing performance is typical of all RVs. With two aboard, the RV-8A takes off in 500 feet and lands in about the same distance. The RV-9A, operating with a 3-knot tailwind, is airborne in just over 300 feet and stops in less than 500. The RV-7 is gone in a little over 300 feet. It's hard to photograph speed, but RVs will keep up with many airplanes with far more power. The efficient airframe slips through the sky at a rate that will allow a pilot based in the middle of the U.S. to reach the Pacific, Atlantic, or Gulf of Mexico in one long but enjoyable day. Whether it's a few rolls before breakfast, a long cross-country, a fishing trip to the backcountry, flying the coastline with a friend, or just an evening hop for the pure fun of it. Building and flying an RV is one of the most satisfying and joyful things a person can do. See for yourself. Contact Van's Aircraft to learn how to join the worldwide family of RV builders and pilots.